And we are live.
Hey, morning. Hi.
Good morning. Morning, everyone. We are live here with Anurag. And just to set the context, our times we are in is a little grim and we are suffering everywhere. There is suffering around. So much pain that whatever we do, it doesn't relieve anyone's pain. But let's be cautious and be more sensitive to the pain and be home and be safe and help others to be home and be safe. To start off with the topic today, ours is SMEs digitization and the measures which we could take to make their life better. This is actually a series which we have started to in congruence with one of the initiatives which the digital team in Hylobiz has taken up for making small better. That means more like what can we do to make SMEs life better? What are the solutions which we can provide to make the lives of small businesses, which is actually, if you see the statistics, some statistics to set the ball going. SMEs are the backbone of our economy, of any economy. If you take, I was just seeing some of the surveys around. So they say that in India there are 42.5 million number of small businesses which are registered, as well as unregistered and registered businesses in India, which are employing around 106 million people, which is almost 30% of our working population. And we are actually contributing, this SMEs are contributing to 30% of our GDP. So they are actually, if you see, most of the innovative products which are coming out from any industry is from a small business, is what the survey says, and it is also one of the main sources of job creation in our country. Now, actually, they are the SMEs during these pandemic times. There are a lot of SMEs are struggling, and some of them have pivoted themselves to accommodate the changes in the market. That is, the human touch is less. We are all working from home, and most of them are operating from their own small offices or their homes. So they are trying to change their course of action. They are trying to take measures to bringing a lot of changes to make themselves lean. That means some job cuts as well, and some of them are adopting to technologies which help them operate much better and more stable and become more stable and more resilient. But what the survey says as well is that some of the SMEs which are also struggling with the digitization, mainly because they see that to set up and implement a technology, a new technology, they struggle. Maybe because to migrate from the old ones, or to decommission the old one, or to migrate to a newer technology. And some of them even have challenges to identify which technology to adapt to. So and they say that they need a lot of support and in training, and to adapt. The skilled people are not also available for them to help them out. With these in mind, let's dive into some of our questions, which here in our panel we have Anurag, who's our Chief Product Officer, who had been in fintech industry, solving different kinds of solution, or solving different kinds of problems, ranging from agency banking to wallet to now Hylobiz, which he will explain to us what all does it contain. And here I am, Lakshmi. I'm part of digital team. This is one of the initiatives which we have taken up to spread the word of digitization as well in the SME world. So now,
Hello.
diving into the questions.
Sure. Hi. Hello, everyone. Would be happy to answer with the best of my knowledge. Yeah, Lakshmi, let's start.
Yeah, we will start with the questions. If there are any more from the audiences, please put in our comments. Some of us are in the background helping me out to consolidate them and ask Anurag as well. So the questions goes like this. What is your understanding of the main pain points that the SMEs face, and what are the top tech solutions that you suggest for them?
Well, Lakshmi, before getting on to understanding what sort of solution they would require, what is important is to understand why is this is required at all, and why this is a topic for these businesses to understand, right? So, as per report I was reading, by 2025 we can create, as India can create up to $1 trillion plus of economic value from digital economy, right? Now this value is all going to be driven by these SMEs, which, and the contribution, the stats that you just mentioned is immense, is huge. And if you see, we as a country right now, globally, we are the third global economy in terms of number of digital customers, right? So, which means with the introduction of platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, we as SMEs now understand what is the value proposition that they can get out of increasing their reach to this segment of customers, which probably was not reachable before these platforms brought this concept of online business in the country, right? Uh, so and at the same time, because we are also right now the second largest consumer of internet, or say user of the internet in the world, if you see, which means our customers also are the people who are these potential, or the potential buyers, they understand how to use these applications also, right? And how to access. So for example, today if you see, WhatsApp is largely used, Facebook is largely accessed, Instagram, you will find every Indian having an account there, right? And which means these are the platforms which are going to, or helping these any business to increase the reach, right? What is now is important, okay? As a SME business owner, probably I know, and I have to be very innovative every day, because I mean, let's take an example of the businesses who used to be very physical. Now with COVID coming in, they need to think of getting into a digital space as well. So physical is just not the only way to sustain, is not the only way to do business. They need to be physical plus digital. And in the digital, when this comes up, okay, I need to go digital, the very first thing comes up, okay, can I run a campaign on WhatsApp? Can I run a campaign on Facebook? I'll create an account, a page, and maybe I put some random thing. What is missing in this? And of course, I mean, there are a lot of sellers who are already selling online, so they have the necessary platforms provided by these marketplace solution providers. What is important is, this is all scattered right now for them, right? The problem is how to, from their perspective, which we have found out while interacting with so many business owners on using our platform, and the surveys we did, is how to create a connected journey for them, to also to see what additional advantages can they get out of it. For example, website was not a phenomenon. Now they understand, okay, having a website makes their presence go online. Apart from that, social media makes a lot of sense. So can we have our pages created on these platforms? They understand, okay, they know the word digital marketing. How to get the best out of it is something which is they are not aware of, which is something which is still missing out. They know the companies who offer them digital marketing service, but the problem here is how can they get better ROI out of it is missing. Then where these SMEs are also now trying to figure out is, because of this COVID situation which has happened, and basically COVID has acted as a catalyst, to push them to get onto this journey, to be honest. So now the questions, or the kind of solution these guys are also looking is, how can they optimize? Can they get data which can help them taking decisions? Now, these are the queries, these are the kind of words when you hear it from these businesses like traders, manufacturers in the tier one cities, it gives a kind of goosebump. You know that how, I mean, companies used to talk, corporates talks about data usage, talks about analytics, AI, ML, whatnot. These guys are also picking up this because they are reading, they are trying to understand what is it. So what is important for them at the moment is they know the different products they are trying, there are different solutions they are trying, but what is missing is this connected journey, which is missing. So they are doing sale online, and they are trying to understand the customer behavior. If they want, probably they are using some sort of CRM tool also, but uh, what sort of customers are giving them X business in a XY window, and what's the pattern? Those are the places where now they need assistance. So the kind of tools that they should try to use or try to bring in, and try to create a connected what you call ecosystem for them, for themselves, is their online presence is important now, because physical is just not the only way. And there are a lot of providers right now, right, for different set of categories who are providing the solution where these guys can go online. Second challenge, which was there before, okay, I've got an online presence, how can I deliver? So there are now companies who are providing the supply chain solution also. Basically, they can source and they can deliver. So that part is also sorted, right? But what is important is now reach is increasing, customer demand probably can increase. How to keep a tap on it, how to get these platforms talk to each other is where the general challenges are. And it will take a bit of time for them also, because they, most of these businesses, the segment I'm referring to are like, the SMEs and MSMEs, not were tech savvy. Those communities were not using these platforms to a larger extent, and now because of this demand which has surged, because of this online what do you call online demand that has surged, basically because of which now this is eminent for them to understand the usage, connect the dots, and try to work with those consultants or those providers who can, service providers who can help them, like managed service providers, for example, who can help them deploying their solution or the cloud, can give them a fair understanding of connecting the whole journey process, and then uh, uh, try to figure out those providers in this space who can solve their problem, for example, of increasing the demand on online, sourcing, managing their inventory, managing customer relationship, managing payments, managing banking, etc. So that is what I would recommend for these business owners, that they have access to these different tools and they are doing it. What is important is connect them together. They need to think on connecting them together. Yeah.
So you talked majorly about the online presence and the supply chain and all. How about payments? How can they that seem to have one of the things which they all talk about, like some of the customers which whom we talk about when we talk of the solutions platforms which are online. The first thing which comes on their mind is the security part of the payment. Like,
Right.
is the secure? Is it secure? If I give you the transaction details, is it secure with you? If I give you the inventory details, would you share it with Amazon? Is one of the questions which was asked. So such things, how do you address?
So basically, these are the questions which generally comes. From those set of customers who probably do not have too much of exposure to this online business at all. Like otherwise, if you see the largest set of customers or SMEs now understand what is online payment, what does it mean? They understand UPI, they understand net banking, because now if you see every second solution on your mobile phone, which is related to or trying to do a sales, there is this online payment which is available. So that knowledge is there. Question comes here is, from the data security point of view, right? What will you do with my data? Would you share it with my, or is there a chance, or is there any condition through which this data can be can be sold online to my competitors, and which can probably take away my customers? So those things are what I recommend to SMEs, I mean, just not in case of Hylobiz, but any other solution provider, if they are going with, they just need to ensure that the terms and conditions that they are signing up, right, it should cover up this clause very clearly, that none of this data should be shared uh, 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 without their proper consent, right? And if there is any genuine solution provider like us and as Hylobiz, because we in the payment space work very closely with financial institutions, and financial institutions have this guidelines clearly written, right? It is, as from the compliance perspective, you need to follow that, right? So we cannot share, or any solution provider like us cannot share this data or information without the consent of the owner of this account or this business. So this is something that they need to ensure. It's more to do with the policy. And second is from the security point of view, right? When you are in a payment business, or you are in a business of storing financial information, also you need to have those, all those what you call policies and solutions in which your larger financial institutions are following today, to ensure it's bank grade security. That's what we call 100% secure, uh, in encrypted form, cannot be accessed anywhere. So this is a bit of an education, or say it's a literacy part, Lakshmi, which we feel, it's more to do with the education, and which is happening also now, because they are understanding, because when they are talking to different gateways, for example, for online payments, so this question is very well answered by them, to them also, and explained to them, and they understand now, okay, what are the pros, what are the cons, how to overcome those cons situation also. Say, for example, educating their customer also, it's an exercise, just not to be done by one entity who is a solution provider, but also to that business who is consuming the solution, for a better reach and automating their processes for their customers. Yeah.
So, Anurag, the digitization of SME can mean many things. Like it can be a digital marketplace, it can be a platform like ours, or it could be a big data implementation, or online
Right.
marketing, or IoT. Any of these it could be. And how does, like I was telling you, right, from the survey, around 50% of them didn't know which solution to adapt to. In the sense, all of them are available in a platter. If so, which to go for, and how to select which solution to go to.
So so basically, this is where the thing starts from identifying what is the biggest problem for them. For example, uh, is is sales a problem, right? Is moving inventory fast is a problem? Is supplying is a problem? Is managing invoices a problem? So, for example, Hylobiz today provides this complete digital journey for them, from invoice management perspective, from chasing the payments perspective, connected banking perspective. So we talk about this particular segment only. If you see, uh, if they have the problem of managing their invoices and chasing for their payments, then if this is clear to them, this is my problem, it is important, I mean, that it helps anyone to provide them that particular solution, or give them recommendation that, look, this is what is available readily in the market. If not, maybe in your business definition, and every business would have their own rules defined. So how can you probably customize your box, or can get this customization done? And this is how probably you can solve your problem. So, and this digitization, I mean, as you said, online platforms are there, enabling them to sell online. They can upload their catalog, they can reach to a wider audience, they can run a campaign also from there, and they can receive order online, can source the orders. Everything is possible. But we are, now there could be a problem, and I know there is a problem, because now same seller is selling on different platforms, and they want a consolidated view of the sales happening on a X and a Y and a Z system. So there are now providers who also have come up with this idea of, where they can connect and bring and show them a consolidated view of their overall online sales which is happening. And another question could be, okay, online sale has come, money also is reaching to me, but this money and my ERP platform cannot do this reconciliation today. It's a tedious job, it's a manual process. I need to have two people sitting just doing this, and even after that, there is a big gap every day that we discover, and then there is a whole cycle of chasing those payments. So so this is like, when you start this discussion, when you start this or when you sit down as a SME and think, what important is to identify what is my problem, where is this journey which is broken today. I am able to sell online, but it's a tedious job backend which is consuming a lot of my time, and which is failing me to probably think of adding more products on my platform. Same way, it's failing to identify my working capital requirements, it's failing to identify my financial necessities, which probably I can go and talk to a financial institution and see if they can lend me an X and a Y and a Z loan, and what is that I can do to scale up, right? So it's to do with identification of the problem, right? And then try to find out the way, try to find out a solution around it, and customization definitely would be required in this process. And they need to also be ready and agile in terms of finding these alternates, bring it together in the ecosystem to connect this dot. Hilo is basically, at Hylobiz, this is what we discovered. Uh, they are able to sell, uh, uh, they are able to sell properly, but then invoice management was a problem for them. They got a platform where they are doing this invoice creation, but the problem again is a consolidated view, the knowledge of their data that is missing. They are doing businesses on 10 different systems related to collection of their money, to making payouts, etc. But there is no such mechanism available through which they can, automate this entire process of purchase to pay, or to reconciliation, to collection, to collect money. So this is what we have identified, and our recommendation to all these business owners is that uh, it's important to sit down and find out those 3, 4, 5 uh, areas where you are struggling, right? And then let's sit down and find out how can we now help optimizing you, or how can you get a solution, or maybe various platforms, or 2 platforms which should have the capability to talk to each other. So rigid technologies will not fly to solve this purpose. Solutions which are only desktop driven and do not have the capability to integrate will not fly. So they need to choose wisely what sort of platforms can help them scaling up. And with the current set of technology evolution that and the market which has happened, most of the modern solutions provide these APIs. Most of these platforms have the capability to connect and talk to each other, right? So that's how the problem can be resolved. They can overcome.
So you are saying that these platforms, the problem identification, and then mapping the solution to it will be the
Right.
best way. And there are actually, would you suggest that there are marketplaces available for these platforms as well, right? There are,
Right.
we have one on which we are listed, that is our the Digibiz platform. Like that, there
Right.
are places as well, so they can ship, or rather they could be able to like take solutions, like I can click like a
Yes.
shopping cart, you can take it from them and use them as well. I think that also is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. So a lot of such concepts are coming up, and uh, apart from that, like companies like Hylobiz are also in the same what you call trying to build the same concept, where focus is more around giving the similar single cart to these business owners to come in. Of course, our focus is more on the financial side, where these guys can come in, can automate this process, and then basis on their trend and basis on their information, we would like to suggest them if, to how can they overcome, fast track this entire receivable, can help overcoming their working capital automation, the entire efficiency. How can we help them making this particular thing more efficient, more fast, more quick? Okay, so that's how they can get the benefit.
So another question which we had here was 3 things in consideration when a change of process is considered, right? Like the money involved, or the money to be spent, then the know-how of the team, as well as how to build on that know-how, and the time to implement also. So any change in an organization, or rather, even if it is a small one, where it is a entrepreneur setup where 2-3 people are working also, changes takes time. So whenever we make a decision, it is majorly based on money, the know-how, how much I know about it, or how much I can gather about it, and time to implement. With these in consideration, how does our software help in these aspects, like how to make the decisions faster?
Well, if you come from their perspective, you have to understand it's the hard investment that they think of first of all, and it's important that they need to understand the ROI out of it. Right now, ROI uh, could be driven through various factors. For example, one is I'm going to put 10 rupees. Can I get 20? That's one way of looking into it. Now, there is another way of looking into it is I'm doing this investment, which can help me, let's say, automating my entire business process by 60%, which means I can save 60% of probably the amount of money and time that goes in doing this X and a Y and a Z task, right? So money, when it comes how to understand what is that investment I'm doing and why it is doing, this is important. And our SMEs, when we talk to them, they basically are able to relate because we try to just explain them one simple thing, that this is the journey that you are getting onto. So you need to understand where are you spending your time at the moment. So for example, invoice management is the major issue, chasing the payment is a major issue. They have got people on the street who go do door-to-door collection. I mean, of course, this is before COVID. Now with the COVID thing has happened, this has to be automated, right? This has been automated also. So investment perspective, they now understand, okay, when I have to get onto a solution like Hylobiz, the benefits are just not in terms of probably saving a penny on a transaction value, but apart from it, it is the entire amount, I mean, automated process which helps me not to spend my 48 or 72 hours, which I used to generally do almost every week, finding out what's happening with my payments, what's happening with my invoices, right? So that's one. I mean, point here is to understand what is that money thing that goes, right? So this is important for them to understand the bigger picture of it, right? Second is the know-how. So now we also have to understand not everyone would be that tech savvy or would have that kind of a strong technology background to understand how this entire thing works, and we are no different in terms of finding the similar challenges. So what we have done on the platform is that we have tried to create this entire process as automated, as simplified as it is, like do it yourself kind of a thing, wherein the modern platforms with which we have integrated are very simple to even connect to, versus the rigid platforms where it takes a bit of a time, maybe 15 minutes at max, but it's a one-time setup that they need to do. And they also understand, because the first part of, what is the problem that this platform can solve for them and how it can get them to the ROI side, which is more important for them. The know-how part automatically is taken up through certain sessions, and idea here is that for them this box should not be a technical box, but more like, where they can come in and can use and can see what's happening with their business. They can know the profile, the details, the analysis automatically at their customer level, and they can also see their overall business health in the most easiest form, right? And they can also talk to their banks in the most easiest and faster way. So this is what we have done on the platform. And the last point that you mentioned about uh, uh, basically the time to implement. So you see, we do not offer them a solution which it needs their local premises where they need to implement it. It's all over the cloud, and we have a very powerful roadmap also. So they do not have to worry about maintenance. They do not have to worry about any customization. Everything is taken care by us, right? And the way we have created the customer workflows also are so simple and easy that anyone at their end can easily understand and can use it without any requirement of any sort of training. Because if you build a complex platform, that the problem still remains the same. That will they be taking this up? Because that's where they have got the platforms already in place, but the problem is this visibility, this usage. So we have kept it very simple, easy for their teams to understand. Anyone can come and the platform can use it, can try it out, and then and other thing is, the whole product team is very flexible in terms of sitting down. So for example, as I said, a lot of SMEs reach out to us, and they explain. Now they have started explaining their problems they are going through. As I said, their business rules for every business would be different, and when they give us when they come and they give us their thought, they share their requirements, thoughts. Our platform is capable of providing that custom experience also to them in the shorter the stipulated time period. So that's what we have done on the platform, so to help them out.
Yeah, to explain it better to a layman, the platform as such, when we are referring Hylobiz as a platform, where does it plug in? In which part of their ecosystem would it plug in, and for whom would it be most beneficial?
So as where we try to help these businesses is, today they are selling their products, they are doing their sales, invoices, everything, and for which is one system sitting somewhere. Then they are using banking, which is sitting somewhere. Then they have their banking necessities, which is probably they're sourcing from somewhere else. Now all these platforms today are not talking to each other. I mean, I'm not talking about a larger set of customers. Not everyone falls in the category. Like corporates have this mechanism already in place. And then larger businesses, I mean, not the corporate size, but it's still businesses of 50 crores, 100 crores. They also have, because they have this much of knowledge, investments, capital that they can spend. So they also are sorted. Now I'm talking about the businesses which may be in the category of 1 crore, 2 crores, less than that, who may not, who know this is their problem, but they do not have the what do you call, the capability to invest this much of creating this connected journey. So on the invoice management part, our proposition is as simple as, whatever system you are using for creating your invoices, just use that. Bring this on Hilo, connect this with Hilo, and the entire chasing of your pending invoices, timely reminders to these businesses will go through us, will help you ensuring this money is coming to your account properly. Reconciliations are done back to your system. For example, we are connected with Tally. Just one of the use cases, all these businesses using Tally can be connected on Hylobiz. Hylobiz helps them picking all their outstanding payments, with their consent, goes to the party from whom they still get this money or want this money back, right? And somehow this is where the challenge is that this process gets missed out, because they need to sit on top of it, they need to automate it. So we are like an assistant to them, that okay, these are the rules we have created, this is how for your X, Y, and Z customers, this is how the reminders will go. Payment paid online will automatically reconcile to you. The whole banking experience is all sorted. Soon we are going to launch with few banks. We are going to launch a proposition where they can link their bank account also with us, and they can directly use our platform to perform the same processes which they are doing outside any ecosystem, going to the bank site and doing it, and then downloading a report, bringing it back, doing manual entry, reconciliation, etc. So we are sorting this entire pieces. So anything to do with automating the process of invoice management, right? They can come on the platform, they can use it. Or anything to do with automating the chase of the money through reminders, they can come and can do it from our platform. And then on the platform, we also have got these APIs. So any business with who probably do not want to use come onto this interface and use this interface as is, but they probably may have their own interfaces and they just need these two capabilities. They can consume our APIs to build this entire what do you call customer journey basis on their requirements also on top of it. Same way, marketplace concept is coming up. Financial products would be available. They can start applying for loans. They can start applying for various other products around bill discounting, etc., which will happen in the next 2 quarters is what we are targeting now. So this is where the advantages we try to bring to the customers.
Coming back to the digitization part of it, do you say that digitization of SMEs is a matter of survival for them in the current times, or rather it is more of a matter of advancement? What is your take on that?
So it's a matter of advancement is what I feel, because times have changed now. As I said, if your customers are online, if they are digital, right, and the larger base of your buyers across the country are going digital, you need to be ready with this transformation. You need to be ready to jump onto this journey. Now, when you're saying matter of survival, this is purely from the context of how COVID has created the whole negativity around it. But if you see, this is important, they need to think from their business advancement perspective, because the behavior, the consumer behavior, the customer behavior has changed. The dynamics are changing, and to overcome those things, it is important for them to start with this process. It is not going to happen overnight. It will take its own sweet time, but important is to accept that this is required. Important is to take a decision, that we need to start from this point, and they need to be to basically start reading also about more about it, and that's how they will be able to achieve this thing, and this will help them in a lot of ways. For example, uh, they would be able to plan for what sort of products can then they should try to bring in, what sort of innovation they should try to add in, what sort of customer base they can tap in, or how can they scale up their business from one geography to another geography. How can they reach out? What is the way to source this faster? What is the way to deliver this faster? What is the way to um, what is the way to keep with the momentum, keep up with the competition? So this is possible only when they have to first of all accept that digital is the way to go forward.
The changes needed in SME world for digitization means a lot of change in culture. If you see whom we are selling
Right.
to,
Yes.
the merchants or the distributors, they may not be digitally savvy. They might know to use a smartphone, for instance, but then when you give them a complex solution, it might be overwhelming for them. Most of the times, they might say that it's not for me. So how have we taken care in our product for that, those set of customers?
Yeah, so you're right, because so far, if any solution they have used, largely built with very complex workflows, and it took time for them to even understand how to use those platforms. Now, to overcome this, I mean, we first of all, as I said, it was very clear thing that this is the problem we are solving, and to solve this problem, these are the 3 or 4 steps that they should just have to do. I mean, it should not be more complex process, because there is already a platform available on which they are doing this complex process of, say, creating an invoice, as simple as that. Now, if they are coming on Hylobiz, and if we keep the same process, asking too many questions, and can we just give them a way in 2 steps? How can they automate their reminder system? That's it. So it's about more to think from that, how from the user's perspective, from a quick adaptability perspective, we need to think a simple system. For example, today if you go on Gmail, right, think of a system where okay, this is where I can click and this is how the email can go, and this email Using this email, can I create a meeting link, right? It's all connected and super simplified for the users on Gmail. A lot of people who probably may not be as advanced in using these tools now have got this idea. Why? Because of keeping the entire experience very simple and thinking the complex problem from a simple, what do you call, from a simple approach. And then that's what is helping the product team at our end, because the problems that we hear from these business owners is definitely complex problems, right? But then when we sit down and try to understand the persona, this is where we identified it cannot be it can, I mean, the problem is complex, but the solution cannot be complex. Solution has to be simple. So customer journeys, experiences that we are building, we're trying to keep it as simple, and not thinking from how a typical SME solution so far the world used to think and provide them. It's more to do a reverse cycle, number of steps as simple as less as possible.
It's a connected question. What kind of digital skills in the workforce would be needed for usage of a platform like ours?
So basically, for a platform like us to use, everything is. I mean, basically, to use our platform, they don't need any person to come into play. So, for example, if the accountant is there who is doing the invoice creation, the process still is the same. They don't have to worry about what is that Hylobiz will come and take away. Hylobiz is simply doing one thing: it's making the life of all these users at their or the business end more easy. In terms of accountant, probably will get more time not to spend time on reconciliation, but probably identifying more ways of of adding more value to the business owner by maybe picking up additional tasks which somehow he never used to get time on a day-to-day basis. Reconciliation process where he probably was spending 5 hours, 4 hours, can be as simple as a 15-minute job just to see, okay, this is the final outcome and it all makes sense. Okay. Business owner who was sitting used to sit with accountant having this discussion, what happened to this X payment, what happened to this Y payment, and then there is a chase happening, then there is a guy going and calling and then asking what will be the status of the payment, etc. This entire process again goes away. Now everyone on the platform can access and can see, all right, this is what has happened, there is a reminder schedule for tomorrow, so we don't have to worry about it. If in case it is not happening, probably we can trigger another email, or it, because now I know the health, if I want to escalate it further to their respective bosses, so those decisions become so simple. While doing so, both now all these businesses can also see the value of value that they can drive from this data, right? Like the trend of sales happening with a customer X and a customer Y, right? So in this, if you see, it's not about what you call it's more to do with this thought process change that we are trying to bring in, that we are coming as an assistant or to automate these processes. You now have a freedom to think beyond what you are doing. You should now think as a team, what additional can you do, what additional products can you scale up, what additional innovation can you do, and get out of this daily monotonous job. So for a solution like us at Hylobiz specifically, they do not need any such dependency. It's 100% automated process.
Let me just check on the
Sure.
team if there is any questions on our chat. Meanwhile, if you have to add on our future plans on the product or anything which you want to add, Anurag? Yeah, Anurag, are you here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was just asking you if you have anything more to add on the product details.
So on the product side, as I said, I mean, I would recommend anyone listening to this, watching this video, if this is where the problem is around their invoice management, reconciliations, automating this entire thing to get more information about their businesses, they can get in touch with us, right? We While there is a ready available platform, we also work with these institutions on enterprise model basis, where uh, we help them identifying and helping them building their digital journey as well, and they can come in and work with us on this
We have some interruptions from Anurag, I suppose. Let's wait for him.
Hello, Lakshmi. Sorry, I mean, looks like my internet is just a bit acting up now.
That's
So
okay. We just lost you a bit.
yeah, so on the product side, basically entire collection pieces is readily available, and any business who has this issue of chasing their payments, managing their invoices, Hylobiz serves as an assistant to them. And on top of it, if they have any other problem around where they want us to seamlessly create an ecosystem, create talking to various other systems that they probably are using, and can help them, help them achieve this digitization, then they can reach out to our teams, and we would be happy to bring a transformation roadmap, suggest them right tools, and as Hylobiz, we can also help them integrating with our platform and these other boxes which may not be there today, but for their custom integrations, this is all possible. We can do that.
Anurag, we have a question from one of the
Sure.
viewers. We sell via the dealer network. We also sell via e-commerce platforms. Then do all the
Yes.
accounting, reconciliation on Tally and bank accounts. How can you help?
So
Should I read it?
they, yeah, no, so they can connect their Tally account with us on Hylobiz. Once they connect their Tally account, Hylobiz automatically sync their complete data and give them a customer by customer report, a health report they will get, and they can get, and any payment then coming in through the pending payments which are coming in, they can automatically can be synced back to Tally. So this entire process can, as I said, can be seamlessly done. Number two, on the bank account side, on the bank account side, also we are creating this we are bringing these services where this account statement also they will be able to download. So the entire process of manually downloading and then doing the reconciliation will definitely go away. And at the moment, if the payments are happening through Hylobiz, if they're collecting through Hylobiz, then this process is 100% automated. No reconciliation of any sort is required from their end that they need to do. So
We just missed one point in that, I suppose. The viewers are trying to ask, I suppose, is we sell via dealer network. We also sell via e-commerce platforms. So he would want to connect from the e-commerce platform. There is the accounts there with the Tally, and then with Hylobiz. Or is there another solution possible? Is what is her question is, I suppose.
So yeah, sure. So if say for example, if their Tally account is already connected with these platforms, e-commerce platforms, then we can automatically pick. Otherwise, they can sit down with our teams. We can understand which platform are they using, and we can connect, bring this data, and push this back to Tally. That also is a possibility.
So the question which came to us was from Amazon. So any of these seller platform can be connected to our platform as well.
It's not readily available is where the team is working upon. But if, for example, with this, of course, this is possible because we will consume these APIs and can bring this data back to their respective ERP system.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions that we had from the viewers. We are almost at the end of our session.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Anurag, for being there.
Thank you.
We have had a deep dive into the product, and we understood a lot about it as well. Thanks a lot, and we are all available.
Thank you.
The team, as such, is available on all the platforms. So, and on our website as well, we have a contact number on which people can send us an email or even on a phone call. We are just a phone call away, and on all platforms on social media also we are available. Please ping us. So let's help you to make your life better is what I would say for the SMEs. So more sessions on in the future. Thanks a lot, Anurag, for the time once more. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
Bye-bye.